You've been told Alzheimer's is genetic, that it's coming for you, and there's nothing to do but wait and hope. Well, good news. Everything I just said is out of date and no longer true. Alzheimer's is optional. That's not me being hopeful. That's the proof from the neurologist whose research I trained in. There are 7 steps to his process. We call it the B7, and the order matters. In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to do. I make these videos for one reason. I want you to know you can prevent this. Not manage it, not slow it down, but actually prevent cognitive decline and Alzheimer's disease. And I'm going to be honest with you the whole way through, because this is a lot of work. It's more work than taking a pill. It's more work than taking a supplement. It's more work than anything anybody has ever tried to sell you. But every single piece of the B7 you are capable of doing. And if you want help doing it, that's my job. We'll get to that at the end though. So let's start with how prevention is even possible. First, we need to understand that we are ancient beings. Your body was built over a very, very long time for a world that doesn't exist anymore. There used to be clean air, clean water, food that came out of the ground somewhere close, and it was full of nutrient. But now, unfortunately, we live in a toxic soup. Lead, mercury, arsenic, whatever the highway is putting into the air outside your window. Mold growing behind a wall that started during your home's construction. And here's the thing, your immune system doesn't know that it's 2026. It responds to all of those threats the same way it would have responded to a thorn in your foot 10,000 years ago. Your immune system switches on, and then it never switches off, because in this modern world, the thorn is still in there. That's what's driving this disease, not bad luck, not your family history, but these conditions. And here's the thing about conditions, you can actually change them. Now, you might be wondering why no one has ever put it to you this way. It isn't a conspiracy. It's that our entire medical system was built about 100 years ago to handle one problem at a time. One organism, one drug, you win. And that system works beautifully for, say, pneumonia. Unfortunately though, dementia is not that kind of problem. It's 20 small things at once. None of them will kill you this year, but all of them are adding up quietly in the background. There's no drug that will handle that kind of immune system load. There's no single doctor's appointment that can correct it either. But there are lifestyle changes that work, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Your brain doesn't break with Alzheimer's, it downsizes. It's protecting itself from what's coming at it, so it starts shutting down in order to survive. So if you change what's coming at it, you change how your brain reacts. That's the whole idea. That's why the word optional is even on the table. Now, there are 7 areas that do the work: nutrition, exercise, sleep, stress, brain stimulation, removal of what's harming you, and finally, targeted supplementation. You've heard most of that list before. I'm sure you have. So here's what nobody is telling you. They are not all equal, and they do not happen at the same time. There needs to be an order to them. Get the order wrong, and you will work hard for 2 years, but wonder why nothing has improved. So step 1 is removal. And here's why it has to come first. If something in your body is driving inflammation right now today, and you leave it sitting there, then every good thing you do afterwards is working against a fire that is continuing to burn. You can eat perfectly, but have inflammation in your gums. You can sleep a solid 8 hours in a bedroom, but there's mold behind the wall. So if you take out the toxins first, then everything else you do finally gets to work. So we're gonna talk about 3 places, and I want you to go in this order. Number 1 is your house. About half of American homes have water damage or mold in them. And roughly 1 in 4 of us does not react well to mycotoxins. So half our houses and a quarter of the population. That's an enormous number of us having chronic inflammation for years with nobody ever explaining why. So I want you to go look in your basement, under every sink, behind the washing machine, the corner of the ceiling in the room that no one uses, anywhere there has ever been a leak, a flood, or a slow drip that you meant to deal with. If you find something, you need a specialized contractor, not a diet, not a supplement. And I'll be honest with you, this is an expensive one. Remediation is not cheap, and insurance usually will not cover a slow leak that's been going on for years. But looking is free, so please do that this week. And I want to say something about that because I know what happens next. You go look, you find a stain in the basement ceiling, and then you stand there feeling like you've been handed a problem you can't afford. Don't spiral on it. Finding it is the win. You've been living with it either way, but now you know it's there, and knowing turns it into a line item on a checklist instead of just a mystery. You do not have to fix everything this month. You just need to know exactly what you're dealing with. Now, number 2 is your mouth. Gum disease is not a dental problem. It's a chronic infection running 24 hours a day, a few inches from your brain. So call your dentist and ask them to measure your gums and read you the numbers. Not just clean your teeth, but actually measure the plaque buildup. And if you've got a crown or a filling or a root canal that's been an issue for years, please get someone to look at it properly. I had a crown removed for exactly this reason, and I put the whole thing in a video and I'll link it up here. Taking care of your mouth and teeth is actually brain work. And here's the part I'd tell you if you were actually sitting down with me. Book the dentist appointment before you feel ready. This is the one where people wait until the new year, and then the new year comes, and then something else comes up. Listen, 6 months of inflammation is 6 months of inflammation. And inflammation doesn't care that you got busy. Now, number 3 is your air. You spend about a third of your life in your bedroom with the door closed, breathing that air. So put an air filter in your bedroom and run it at night. Make sure the filter is HEPA certified and it is the right size for your space. That's the whole instruction. It's the cheapest thing on this entire list. It takes you 20 minutes on Amazon to buy, and it actually works while you're asleep. Do that one tonight. I'll put a link in the description to the one I actually use. Now look at what those 3 things have in common. A contractor, a dentist, an air filter. Once you've made the call, none of them require you to do the actual work. The contractor, for example, works whether you're home or not. The filter runs while you're asleep. So the labor was never the hard part. The hard part is knowing which of these you're actually dealing with and then putting them in an order that actually makes sense. That's what a care team is for. I work alongside a physician. Their job is to tell you what needs the attention. That's the what. That's their role. Coaching, though, is the how. That's what I do. Now hold on to that, because step 2 is nothing like this, but it runs at the same time as step 1. While you're taking things out, your brain still has to get through today. And a brain that's downsizing almost always has an energy problem. It's struggling to use the fuel it's being given. A ketogenic dietary approach gives you a premium fuel source. Your brain thrives off of ketones. And this one is the hard one. It's not complicated, but maintaining a ketogenic diet is difficult. So, everything in step 1, you hire out. You pay and the work gets done for you. But nobody can eat for you. That's 3 meals a day, every day. Holidays included, restaurants included, your family's opinions at the dinner table, well, they're included too. And your doctor is not going to sit down and walk you through recipes and how to actually get into ketosis and how to stay there when you're traveling. There's no room for that during a 15-minute doctor's appointment. You know who does have the time to help you with a ketogenic diet? I do. That's my job. I'll talk more about the KetoFlex dietary approach, but that's another video. It's up next, so stay tuned. And after diet comes sleep, stress management, body movement, brain stimulation, and what you actually should be supplementing with. I need to be detailed with all of these, so everyone is getting a video on its own. So let me be honest with you about the whole thing. This is a lot. Most people who try on their own will quit somewhere around month 2, not because they're weak and not because they don't care. They quit because they're doing 7 things at once in no particular order with no one checking in and nothing has started to feel different. That's not a willpower problem. That's a structure problem. And a structure is a thing we can fix. So let me tell you what structure actually looks like, because I think people imagine coaching is someone telling you you need to try something harder. That isn't it. It's the opposite. It's deciding together what you're doing this month and what you're deliberately not doing this month. It's one thing at a time in an order that makes sense for your life. It's having someone who already knows what the next 6 months look like, so you're not guessing whether this is normal. And it's the practical stuff nobody else will do with you. What you eat at your coworker's party, what to say to your dentist who doesn't understand what you're asking, how to keep momentum going during those difficult weeks. It's the difference between knowing and actually living this experience. You can prevent this. I believe that. And that's the reason I make these videos. I will share everything I know right here. So please subscribe to stay up to date. But if you want to take it a step further, if you've got a family history and the worry and you want someone who does this every day, walking the path with you, then let's talk. There's a link below to book a free 20-minute call with me. We'll work out where you are and what your first step is. Not all 7 of them, just the first one. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again next week.